Ruth McCracken. Ruth McCracken and Trissetta Washington, two top-notch career and business strategists, are here to help you defy standards and break boundaries. Join them as they share powerful insights that have already impacted thousands of people and will have a major impact on your career, life balance, and business.
Hello. Welcome. Happy day. Oh, happy day. I love to know that it is now another day on the other side of heaven. Hey, my beloved friend. Hey, Trissetta. How is it going for you?
Ruth. It is going well. I hope you're having an amazing day so far today.
Indeed it is. We are now hitting, do you believe that we're now in the 26th episode? I hope I didn't lose count.
Wow.
And we're now cracking the breaking boundaries. We're moving on towards a new series. Before we go into that, I want everybody to be present with us and go ahead and click like and share, because I know what we're going to be unfolding is going to be juicy. It's going to be so delightful for you to all to want to share. It would just be so selfish of you to just sit here with us and not hit like and share. And let's disrupt this artificial intelligence algorithm and really elevate so that we know that we're disrupting it in the masses. Who's with me? Let's go ahead and do that. While you're doing that, I would love to share with you all, we're in a season, and I think it's been pretty much even before pandemic, but now that we're now being so mindfulness, we're talking about and breaking boundaries, y'all. Before we just want to throw it out there because being at its the maintaining your mental health month for the month of May, we want to be able to share with you all mind matters. And before we go into that, I know you're probably wondering, who are these amazing butterflies in my newsfeed? Well, I'm glad you asked. And if you're coming in for the first time, I definitely want you all to be familiar with who we are. I am Ruth. I am your career strategist. I help mid-level professionals and up who are looking to shift from being under-recognized to standing out as superstars by leveraging our signature program, Promote Yourself, so that they can now attract their dream career effortlessly. And if that is you, if you're in the point of breaking boundaries within your career, your life, go ahead and comment below or just message me directly, and I'll be sure to reach out to you personally to see how we can help you and support you in your journey.
And I am Coach Trissetta, and I partner with ambitious women in leadership to help them overcome burnout and overwhelm by using an approach that really combines time management strategies with intentional self-care practices. It's what I like to call balanced ambition. And I draw from my 25 plus years of experience in operations management to provide my clients with tailored solutions that help them to increase their productivity and create sustainable success, empowering women to achieve their goals without sacrificing their health or their well-being. And if that sounds like you, if you're ready to create some balanced ambition in your life, go ahead, hit me in my DMs. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you. Let's dive in, Ruth.
Yes, this is powerful. And we're talking about overcoming many levels, various of levels, but the main focus here for our particular platform for today is overcoming burnout. I'm pretty sure you all can be able to kind of take a time, carve out some time out of your day, put your plugins in. You may want to even replay this, because what we're about to unfold is going to take some time to unleash within your subconscious. So let's go straight right on in, because we do have a lot to unfold, and I want you to be able to walk away with at least 2 to 3 gems. Is that all right? Now, May, as we mentioned, is Mental Health Awareness Month. We are super aware, because I speak to high performers like you all the time, at least over 100 per month. Burnout is a state of what we like to be defined in the Webster Dictionary. It's an emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion that's caused by prolonged and excessive stress. Let me know in the comments if this is something that you can definitely say, oh my gosh, I really think that it is something that I can definitely know in my current situation today. But It can occur in any area in your life, in your business, in your career, with your friends, your relationships, but it's often associated. And let me know if this is something that you all can definitely say, nodding your head on the other side here, with work related stress. Maybe living on paycheck to paycheck or taking on among other duties besides your workload, maybe your peers, your boss. According to a study by the American Institute of Stress, 83% of US workers, yes, report feeling stressed at work, with over 50% saying that they need help in learning how to manage stress. Trisetta mentioned it to you as far as we got to be able to have that life balance ambition, and you got to become aware of that. And that's why we're here. Another thing is a survey was conducted by Gallup, found that 23%, oh my gosh, that's 23% of employees reported feeling burnt out at work very often than normal, that is not normal. And an additional 44% report feeling burnt out every now and again. But here's the point. We want to be able to kind of set the tone and let you know that what can you do to disrupt that, to dismiss that, because you matter. Your mind matters, right? And so let us know in the comments how you feel about burnout. Maybe we would love to share this so we can expound on that as the weeks to come, because this is just a starting point and we want to just peel the onion back, because I believe that our higher source, which I like to call God, because he is so, so, so good, wants to see you flourish, wants to see you strive, and wants you to see you at peace. Trisetta, what else? What causes burnout? Let's talk about that. Let's talk some of the things that, because we may not even know, right? What's the addiction behind burnout? We may think that's the norm.
Right. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, Ruth, because it's so true. A lot of people think that the symptoms or the signs that they're experiencing is just normal. Like everyone feels that way and it's supposed to be that way. And it's just not true. In fact, even myself, we live in the society of like hustle culture, and you got to grind, you got to work hard so that you can have the things that you desire or to have the success that you desire. And even myself, I was in a place in 2012 where I had been for years working 55 plus hours a week and was stressed out, burned out, overwhelmed, and just simply over it, and made a decision to walk away from my job because I knew that life had to have more than just me working all the time to be undervalued, underappreciated, and underpaid. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about as far as like the causes are many of the things that I was experiencing in my own journey. One of them is chronic workplace stress. This is actually the most common causes of burnout, because we are exposed to workplace stress over prolonged periods of time, which comes from a whole lot of different factors, like working long hours. Hello, 55 plus hours a week for years, high job demands, a lack of autonomy or control, right? So you having those micromanagers who are always hovering over you, as well as
pause for the cause, because that's major. Oh my gosh. Because I'm pretty sure you hear from your clients all the time, like, how do I put some measures in there? How do I monitor that, Trisetta? Yeah, go ahead.
You mean like a micromanager?
Because they might think that's the norm. Many people may think that. Let us know in the comments, do you believe that micromanaging is something that you think is supposed to be a normal way of being a leader? Because some people may agree, may disagree, and I would love to hear from you all. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. A lot of managers take on that perspective of it's necessary to micromanage your employees because that's the only way they're going to get the work product out of them, when it's actually the opposite. In our modern day workplace culture, we really need more autonomy with our employees, allow them to, trust them, you got to equip them, right? You got to train and equip them to be able to do the job that you desire, but then also give them the autonomy, give them the space to actually learn and grow and kind of take on more of a coaching role in their workplace lives, as opposed to that, like slave driver, if you will. Now, when it comes to like kind of factory type jobs, then micromanagement might be a little bit more appropriate because of the nature of that role. But our traditional office place, culture nowadays, we really need more of a coaching or autonomous perspective when it comes to managing our employees. And if you don't, if you micromanage, especially top performers, they're not going to be with you long. And that's something we're going to get into a little bit later on.
Yes.
But also, not having a supportive work environment when you don't have management or a team that supports you, then that can create a lot of stress, which can lead to burnout. Also personal factors, right? Some things such as perfectionism. I'm a recovering perfectionist. Matter of fact, last month I did a series in my private Facebook community on perfectionism and how to kind of step away from that. But perfectionism can create undue stress on you. Having that need for control. Not setting boundaries.
Oh my God.
Around, in work and personal lives, and just allowing everyone to kind of pull on you to the point where you are completely depleted, right? So you're essentially putting your work or everyone else above your personal needs, and that really contributes to burnout. Work-life imbalance, right? We talk a lot about work-life balance, but we don't talk very much about work-life imbalance, right? Making sure that you are spending enough time doing things that fill you up to counterbalance the amount of time that you're being depleted from working. One of the things that I really experienced, I experienced, that was a huge one for me when I was working those 55 plus hours a week, but also a lack of recognition or reward, which that was ultimately the thing that led me to walk away, because I was passed over for a promotion 3 times in less than a year.
Who can say me too? Who can say that? We would love to hear from you all, because if you don't identify it and announce it, how else can you move forward, right?
Yeah. And the thing there, I want to put this caveat there. My area vice president asked me to apply for the role.
Yeah.
And I was passed over, not because they reviewed my resume and I interviewed and I didn't do well or I wasn't the best fit, but because the recruiter never passed my resume along to the team. So they didn't even know I had applied.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So a couple other things or organizational factors, such as not being clear on what your job expectations are, not having effective communication in the organization, or just simply not having the resources or support that you need in order to carry out your job functions can really contribute to burnout. Just a few early warning signs are chronic fatigue.
Oh,
right?
wow.
If you're tired all of the time, every day, you're drinking 4 or 5 cups of coffee, or you're having to have Red Bulls and all those energy drinks, perhaps you're experiencing burnout. Reduced performance. You might find it difficult to concentrate on tasks that are put in front of you. A lack of motivation. You might start to shift more into cynicism and negativity. And then, of course, there's some physical symptoms like headaches, ulcers, GERD, stomach issues, muscle tension. So I know I hold my tension right here in my shoulders, which I have a massage scheduled for later today.
Nice.
Being very emotional, right? Your moods are all over the place, or you might feel like you need to withdraw, right? And kind of avoid friends, colleagues, family members, and just really isolate yourself.
Right.
And then also, increasing the use of substances such as alcohol, drugs, and other things to escape, right? To escape
Suppress.
from your life.
Thousand
Yeah, so
percent.
those are just a few of the
And don't
causes of
ignore
burnout.
these symptoms because a lot of times we find ourselves oppressing it. Let us know in the comments if you're maybe having ways to overcome and maybe share with others in the community. What ways can you do that? We'll talk about that. But in the meantime, let's jump in as to what is the major impact of burnout. Because if we don't talk about it and we don't address it, guess what? It then will deteriorate and you now start to shorten, more than likely, your lifespan within where we are today in this society. So burnout can have a significant impact on what? Mental health. That's why we're talking about mind matters, because you only get one mind, and your mind is correlating with your spirit, your soul. So your body, they all live in the same union. And so it matters that you're leading to feelings of you want to be able to identify and address, is it leading to feelings of what? Depression, as Tracetta slightly mentioned, as far as anxiety and mood disorders. These symptoms of burnouts, by the way, may include chronic fatigue. You ever come across where you woke up, you had coffee, and then all of a sudden you've maybe done a few of your tasks and assignments. You're taking the kids away to school or whatever they need to go for that day, but somehow it's some sort of imbalance. And if you're not adding certain, activities or some sort of way of maintaining your sanity, then we want to be able to share with you that it can definitely be ineffective if you just take it to where it's a lack of commitment. And we want to be able to show you that doing this will definitely help serve you. But if you don't, again, these are major deficits of burnout. Burnout can also, for many of you all, maybe can relate when it comes to your physical symptoms, headaches, maybe migraines, and it could vary in different parts of in your head, because it could start from the stem of your back. How many of you all can say, oh my gosh, why am I waking up all full of tension? Am I really getting old when I'm only 25? Am I really getting to feel the arthritis coming in? And these are all potential symptoms of burnout. The negative effects, of burnout can spill over in other areas of your life, your friends, your family, like I said earlier, your relationship, including your hobbies that you love to do. Maybe you're part of an association, affiliating, but you want to overall build quality life. That's what I believe that we're here. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, but we're here to also enjoy life. A study in Harvard of Business, they were able to found that burnout, by the way, from employees are 63% more likely to take a sick day, and 2.6 times more likely, by the way, to be actively in a different job or a whole different career. Why do you think that's happening? Because they're just needing to find a way to disconnect, find a way to escape, and thinking that's going to help solve it. Now, we want to go ahead and move into an area, because I want you all to stem. You may want to go back and really digest this, really allow it to take a conviction within yourself and say, am I going to continue this journey and impacting myself, my families, maybe your partners, your partner, your friends, in a way without now being aware of how impactful burnout can be? Let's go ahead and shift. We're going to talk about this in terms of strategies of overcoming burnout. Love, love, love the fact that there's tools and activities about this. Tracetta, what major tool, because I know it matters to you, and it also matters to me, and how we maintain our mind, because we live with ourselves 24/7. We wake up with ourselves 24/7. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that this is my area, this is my lane. So I'm gonna do my best to be brief, because I could talk about this for hours. But one of the ways, so just gonna share, I think we have like about 6 strategies that you can implement. And I want to encourage you, as we're discussing these, that choose one, like pick one and start implementing it this week. In fact, today, if you
Action.
can.
Take action. Yes.
Yes.
ASAP.
The first one is to prioritize self-care, right? So you want to
Ooh,
make time for all those different activities that fill you up, the things that bring you joy and help you relax. It could be exercise, meditation, for me, like dance lessons, for me, going to the beach, spending time with the people that you love
oh,
and care about, right? What it's not just self-care is not just about massages and spa days, right? That's a form of self-care, but anything that lights you up, brings you joy, and allows you to release the stress, that is what you want to prioritize into your schedule. Set a
1000%.
date with yourself,
Hmm.
right? Set a date with yourself and make it non-negotiable. You want to, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but make sure that you're establishing clear boundaries between your work life and your personal life. Some things that you can do is like avoid checking your work emails when you are not at work.
Right. That
Right?
part. I would even challenge you to take it off your phone if your
Yes.
role doesn't permit it, or because I know you probably still need your phone, but if you're connected to your work on your phone, there's ways of maybe setting up your notifications.
Yes.
Just giving yourself the grace to know that I'm going to silence the noise just so I can in tune and find a way to find peace within me so I can know why I enjoy my job instead of being burned out and overstressed.
Yeah, I know when I was still working a 9 to 5, I traveled a lot for my role. So it was important for me to have my email on my phone, but I
Yeah.
had it set up where no notifications would come through. I would only be able to see it if I went into my email. So that's one of the ways that you can kind of still have access without it invading your space. And then also, I didn't plan to talk about this, but having having a specific work communication platform rather
Mhm.
than using your text messages, because then you start to blur those lines between work life and personal life. So use something like a Teams chat or Slack or Voxer. Use something specifically for business communication that separates you so that you can have those notifications
1000%.
only during certain hours, right? Um,
Definitely agree.
yeah, that's a good boundary. Also, I am a huge advocate for the power of the pause. You got to take breaks. You got to take some regular breaks throughout the day, even if it's just 5 minutes to stretch or step outside, catch some fresh air. You need to take time to
I say
recharge.
every hour, right? At
Yes,
least take 5 minutes every hour. I mean, I know I'm going to be the first to admit it can be a challenge in the beginning, but once you make it a routine, mark it on your calendar, maybe have your phone notify you, oh, it's time to get up. Or maybe if you have an Apple
yes,
Watch or device on your wrist where it then vibrates and lets you know,
yeah.
okay, time to peel away from your desk, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Something else you can do is in between tasks, right? So when you complete a task that you're working on, before you move to the next one, just kind of get up and stretch, walk around. Um, Time management.
Ooh,
You got to use your time, actually plan out your week, plan out your day so that you can incorporate self-care into your schedule rather than having it back to back to back to back with no breaks. Build in some breaks into your schedule. Use the Pomodoro technique so that you can break up your task and your work, your focus time so that you can actually stay focused and get things done without having those feelings of overwhelm come into your workload.
I love
Um,
it. Is
yeah,
this taking you all to a different level of seeing it through the eyes of source? What ways can I become better? What ways can I be more mindful over this matter that has been pretty much controlling you and not you controlling it? And
yeah,
another way of doing so, and I know we talked about time management, what else can they do to really maybe take another level at it, take another stab at it when it comes to these different strategies?
yeah. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Mm,
Talk to your friends, talk to your family members,
yes.
or if you need to, hire a mental health professional to talk about what's going on with you, your feelings of burnout. It's so important for you to have feel someone that you feel like you are safe to confide in so that you don't slip into those feelings of isolation, and
Mhm.
it's going to help you to feel more supported. A lot of times, Ruth and I share our faith a lot, And one of the tricks of the enemy is to make us feel like we are alone and to make us feel like we are not supported and and to isolate us so that we can
Right.
basically like, you know, die a slow, painful death. So connecting with others. And I think if you find that you open up with other people about how you feel, there's going to be some commonalities that someone else may feel the same way right
Yes.
then, or they may have felt that way in the past and they can help you to normalize it so that you don't feel like it's just you and you're alone on this island of burnout by
1,000%.
yourself,
Don't
right? We
don't
want to get
tap
off the
into
burnout island.
yeah, let's and if you yes, and let's go to the sister island right next to it where you seen them having the gay old life. They just having a time of their day because why? Because they now being attentive. What else can they do to really bring this home? How can we help them drive this home from where they
Yeah.
now go from seeking support and maybe what other strategies they can use? And then we'll
Um,
go ahead and wrap this up.
the last strategy I would say is to reevaluate your goals.
Yeah.
Sometimes we might be a little overzealous in the goals that we set for ourselves. And what we end up doing is putting
Me-
undue stress and pressure on ourselves.
Yes.
Life happens, life shifts, life has ebbs and flows. And that's where the prioritization comes into play. If you know what your priorities are, then you can set goals that align with your priorities and then make sure that you make any necessary adjustments as life happens, right? Because inevitably it's going to happen. Like life is going to life. Life is going to life. And
And
sometimes the
another
goals that
thing,
we
we
set
can't
for
control
ourselves,
the things that's outside of us. So
no,
the goal, yes, we can't control the things, but let's try to be mindful or be very aware of what are the things that you can control. Remember the serenity,
yes,
major serenity
the
mantra.
serenity prayer. Yeah, the
Yes,
serenity prayer.
thank you.
Yeah. So, don't be afraid to adjust your goals or the timeline for your goals. I'm not huge on adjusting your goal itself, but adjusting the timeline for your goal
Right.
based on what's happening in your life. Maybe a spouse or significant other gets a job in another city and you have to make, that's a huge life adjustment.
It is.
Or like me, I had a situation where I had just finished my degree and was planning on going directly into studying for the GMAT so I could go get my MBA. But then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I wasn't thinking about no stinking college entrance exam.
I mean,
I had to focus on me taking care of me and healing, right? And being in the best mental state that I could be for my health
oh,
and
1,000.
my healing journey, right? So it's okay to adjust if you need to. There's no um negative. I don't want you to view that as a negative thing when you need to make some adjustments to your
Absolutely not.
timeline or your
Absolutely not.
focus because life does life, right?
It
So
is.
yeah, so those are just a few strategies that can really help you to kind of stave off burnout if you're feeling it already, or avoid it altogether if you're not there, if you're one of the blessed people who has not been experiencing burnout.
Yes, come kind of let us know. Let us comment below. Let us know how the first part has been truly helpful. If you have to go back and replay, I highly recommend you to do so. If you're like me, when you're dreading to go to the gym, putting something like this to help you overcome burnouts will give you a peace of mind. We already talked about certain ways of overcoming burnout. We definitely want to align you to be aware of what causes the burnout, right? What some of the symptoms are. We talked about that. And we talked about what ways you can overcome some of the impact of the burnout that it may have instilled or even impacting your health and your mental health at that. And then taking some strategies, to take some of these nuggets, take some of these tools and like Trisetta said, I want to challenge you, take a peer, take a friend, take a group of you all and give yourself permission to set boundaries and prioritize your self-care and make it to where it's consistent and not just do it once or twice a year,
Yeah.
right? So with that being said, let us know if this has been massively helpful. It has definitely shifted your trajectory of how you see yourself, how you view yourself, because the more you take time with you and you realize your personality does create what's outside of which is your reality, then give yourself time to just be identifying with that. Become one with Who are you wanting to become? I'm
Yeah.
excited for you all. This is amazing. Let us know.
Before we close, before we close, I want to challenge
Yes,
everyone.
of
I want
course.
to put a challenge out there. Drop in the comments which one of these strategies you're going to implement this week. You're going to practice this week so that because by putting it out there, we can see it. Everyone can see it, right? You're holding yourself accountable to actually implementing it and making a shift and an adjustment. So we want to know. We're going to come back and ask you. Ruth and I are going to come back and ask you, did you do
Because
it?
we know it's in you. You just got to give yourself the grace to take action.
Absolutely.
I definitely want to say thank you for even coming out here, because we want you to be able to continue to help us make this a live stream that is going to definitely showcase across the world and through your neighbors, through your backyard. We want to be able to let you know next time when we're going to start diving in more deeper on the balancing act, strategies for maintaining work-life balance in your career and business. It's been a joy as always. Have an amazing day. Stay tuned, stay merry, and enjoy. Take care, y'all.
Bye for now.
Join and subscribe with career strategist Ruth McCracken and business strategist Trisetta Washington to the Breaking Boundaries podcast each week. You too can experience the limitless potential of rewriting rules and creating an extraordinary future for yourself.